thought-provoking panel discussions, as well as engaging forums which are centered around the theme Innovation Nation, leveraging India's talent and entrepreneurial spirit in the era of disruptive technologies. I would like to kickstart the day by welcoming on stage Shri Ashank Desai, Principal Founder and Chairman of Mastech, as well as the SINE Board Member on stage. We would also like to have Professor Shirish Kedare, Director, IIT Bombay, and Chairman of SINE on stage. Can we also welcome Shri Praveen Roy, Head Technology, Translation and Innovation Division, Department of Science and Technology of the Government of India, to please come on stage. And Professor Santosh Gharpure, Professor in Charge at SINE. Please, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome for our esteemed guests who have played a very big role in leading us to this wonderful milestone today. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as they come on stage and please make your way. And as we do, we would like to present a small welcome bouquet on behalf of IIT Bombay. Wonderful to have them all here with us today. Thank you all so much for being with us on this wonderful milestone occasion. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get straight to it then. And let me welcome on stage Professor Santosh Gharpure, Professor in the Chemistry Department of IIT Bombay. He's serving as a Rasiklal Himani Fragrance and Flavor Chair Professor. It was since 2019 that Professor Gharpure is the Professor in Charge at SINE. A postgraduate of IIT Bombay, Professor Gharpure has went on to earn his PhD at the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and postdoctoral program from the Indiana University, Bloomington. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming on stage Professor Santosh J. Gharpure to please share the welcome address.
Good morning. I welcome you all to this momentous occasion, 20 years of SINE. Welcome you all to IIT Bombay to SINE. This is a very important milestone in any institution's history. Why do we celebrate these kind of milestones? This is something which I was constantly asking, because I was involved in DWS 5 years ago when we celebrated 15 years, today 20 years. The basic idea of celebrating these milestones for me is, as an institution, take stock of situation, what we have been able to do or not do that well over the journey of an institution. Find out, take stock of the situation, plan ahead, but very importantly, also acknowledge the stakeholders in the long journey that we have had. Successful journey, if I were not to be too boastful in saying it as such. When I look back, SINE started as a pilot project, as was mentioned, right? And if you look at initial 3-4 years, it was all about testing water. First time this kind of an idea in an academic setup in India was being explored. What happened, like what happens with IIT Bombay most of the time, we think of an idea, we experiment, and more often than not, we get it right the first time. And that is something what happened with SINE also, that the pilot was not successful only, but 13 companies we started, many survived and many started thriving as well. That gave institute confidence that we should have some activity of this type. The next stage was formalizing it, and that's how the SINE got its structure, Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, in 2004. As is the case when you are testing water in academic setup, you need to build the structure. So first decade was all about formalizing these ideas, basically. And then as things fall in place, the next decade of SINE lot of government initiatives, DST, which was there right from the beginning with us, started working in a bigger way. Many other government ministry joined in, and then what we had is an explosion. So what I call it, like what we did in, let's say, first decade, we almost more than doubled in the next, right? So that is the kind of a growth we started seeing, because entrepreneurship started becoming a mainstream. And the outcome of that from a SINE perspective, not just the nationally, was that we were able to incubate not a dozen, 2 dozen, but 251 startups as on today. So the next one, right? These 251 startups basically are through interaction with more than 1,000 innovators. And that's something which is again a remarkable thing, because we did not insist that every entrepreneur who interacts with us comes in SINE, but they go to different parts of the country, becomes messenger of this particular idea, that the bug bite them and they spread that message of entrepreneurship through the country across the globe as well. We were successful on many counts. One successful parameter I personally feel is very, very important to give the confidence to the entrepreneur was low failure rate. Only about 20% of our startup folded. But one criticism one may expect that when you have this kind of a low failure rate is that you are playing it too safe. Nah, we have been playing it safe, but with solid performance. For every rupee that SINE was able to put in these startups in turn could raise 190 rupees of risk capital. So that's the kind of impact that we could bring in through the intervention at a very early stage, right? And mind you, these are all product-based startups for the most part, and that is something which is again unique for IIT Bombay. Uh, Collectively, they have raised $950 million, or close to 8,000 crore rupees, at a collective valuation of more than 3.5 billion. Many first unicorn coming from an academic sector incubator, first IPO from any incubator in the country, and most importantly, from social point of view, 10,000 plus employment generation. So we have been contributing not just as a entity for helping startup, but even in the country's perspective. That's one important parameter, which is very, very, something that we all should be looking at as well. Uh, is this journey possible just because of the SINE? No, there are many stakeholders. Like I said, this occasion, I would also like to put on record that appreciation for all our stakeholders. So if you look at who all were the stakeholders, like I said, government. This is very ironical because normally startup is a risk-taking activity, and government has been the one which has been taking risk through the incubator in this particular space. But that doesn't mean that when I have listed out many of the government entities which we have worked with, any ministry I can proudly say has a startup-related program, probably SINE will be a partner. It won't be an exaggeration to think from that point of view. So you have DST, DBT, METI, Ministry of Defense, and so on and so forth. I will miss out if I read out all the names, but not just those, but corporate partners as well. And we will like to acknowledge all their contribution, all their support in our journey all the way through. Also, is important that when we thank external stakeholders, I must place on record appreciation for IIT Bombay leadership. At the end of the day, we are IIT Bombay's technology business incubator. And the support from the leadership has been extraordinary, right from the first director, Professor Mishra, then Professor Kakkar, Professor Chaudhary, and now Professor Kedare. They have been pillar of strength and support for our activity. All the stakeholders, right from governing board, governing board of SINE as well. So I would like to thank all of them. And some of them we will actually be felicitating to kind of respect, to kind of salute to their respect for their contribution in SINE journey. SINE mentors, SINE startups, particularly because they are, right? So SINE startups is very, very important part of our journey. In a way, we enjoy this glory in a reflection from them. So they doing well is absolutely paramount interest from our perspective. A lot of CSR partner, investors, designers, manufacturers. List is very long. Startup associations. I would also like to thank international colleagues that we have had and the SINE team. SINE team was something which has been leading this activity from the front, ably led in the past by Ms. Moini, but I'm very happy that she is here and is going to be joining her throughout. So she shaped in a way the SINE process and SINE as an organization, and ably mantle was handed over and to Shaji, who is taking this particularly forward. Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Uh, Sky's the limit. Like I said, we did 2x in the next 10. Can in next 10 we do 4x? I'm not going to set target, but the idea of this event also is to look forward. So many of the sessions, what we are going to be looking at is what else can we do? How we can make our offerings better? How we can make an impact not just as an incubator, but as a country, can we catapult ourselves nation which is valuing entrepreneurship. So all these activities what we are looking forward for this event, what we are panels that we are having is focusing on that particular act, right? What's the next? What's the next thing that we can? And with those words, I would welcome you all again. Uh, Look forward to listening to the ideas that will be deliberated on during the 1.5 day event that we have. And thank you all once again for participating in SINE Journey. And I look forward to your continued support in the decade and years to come forward. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Professor Gharpure, for setting the context. And I think, as he highlighted, the explosive growth that we have seen has been nothing short of wonderful, and the sky is the limit. I think the kind of support and partners that you have are just a testament to the wonderful work that's already being done. So, thank you for talking to us about the impact created by SINE through the incubation program. Now, I would like to request Professor Shirish Kedarie, Director, IIT Bombay and Chairman of the SINE Governing Board, to address the gathering. Professor Kedare is a professor in the Department of Energy, Science and Engineering. Prior to taking over as the director, he was a professor in charge of the Center of Excellence in Oil and Gas and Energy. Proud alumnus of IIT Bombay, Professor Kedare has dedicated over 3 decades to advancing energy solutions for rural and industrial sectors alike. With numerous awards under his belt, including the P.K. Patwardhan Award, Professor Kedare's leadership continues to drive innovation for a sustainable future. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Professor Kedare, who will be taking the mic.
Thanks for being here. And I am also thankful to Ashang Desai, Praveen Troy, and of course Santosh and many others here. Deepak ji is there and many others, our deans, our professors, students, and many others. It's an interesting day. Entrepreneurship, celebrating entrepreneurship. That's I say that's an interesting day. And I've been an entrepreneur even before Sign was there. Maybe in 2001, we started a company and went through all the things, and also finally partially sold it. So, so we also had exit options. So it's always important to know how to enter and how to exit. That's very important. It's also always important to know how to start a project, develop it, and wind it up. So that's very important part of life, I'll say. I won't be philosophical much, but yes, that's very important. And so entrepreneurship also have to it's a journey, I'll say. So when I talk of entrepreneurship and I think of entrepreneurship and reflect back on my experience and many others' experience, it's typically it is felt that it's an idea which is important and entrepreneurs should dream. Yes, that's true. So that's the starting point. There should be a dream and there should be an idea which actually motivates him. My idea may change ultimately, it may just collapse. But the idea is important so that the person gets motivated to fight. I think that is most important. Many times it has happened that we started with an idea and then it changed, and then it changed, and then so the original idea was actually not there, which actually you became successful. So idea is important, but it's not that idea will become that particular idea will become successful. It's the person who gets motivated because of that idea who dreams. So I'll say the person who dreams is important as entrepreneur, and a person who dreams and is ready to do hard work and take relentless effort so that his dreams get true. Dreams may change. The person's motivation remains the same. And that is what I think is the in thing about the entrepreneurship. We also interacted with many venture capitalists, and they were trying to invest in us, our company. And I also see my friends doing this. And what do they look for? And we present them the balance sheet and then possible market and the business plan and everything. And they are looking at it, but they are not looking at it. They are looking at you, right? So they are looking at the person who is motivated and how in different aspects he is motivated and how capable he is in riding the storms. That's what is, I think, in entrepreneurship. And I think when we go through this entrepreneurship journey, it's a continuous innovation and many times not technical. Of course, technical, and many hurdles come in way, and you have to innovate technically, and very practical solutions have to be evolved. But not only technical, admin efforts, admin innovations, HR innovations need to be done. There are risks taken to employ a person, and you have to judge the person and then take really a decision which is many times gray. Yes, and bear with it and manage it. So it's a innovation at every step. So it's not innovation at one point, an idea. It's continuous innovation, and the capacity to innovation relentlessly to take efforts is actually the main thing that is important. And now, whether it can be taught, so that's what we are trying to do. Many times it is said that entrepreneurship is entrepreneurs are born, or at most they can learn. I can learn entrepreneurship. Can it be taught? So that's a question that we are also grappling here. We have a Desai Sethi School of Entrepreneurship and in IIT, and then we are now trying to teach entrepreneurship. Now, this is a different concept altogether. Uh, I think today, yes, this journey of SINE has been very important. And yes, it was started in 2004. Professor Ashok Mishra was there as director, Professor Amarnath of Mechanical, Professor Sarda, then Ashank Desai and Deepak Satawalekar, they are here now, and many others. And I'll also go back, even before SINE, there was something called CARE, Center for Applied Research in Entrepreneurship, which was started by Professor Subhash Ba of Mechanical Department. And I think that was the initial stride into this domain by IIT Bombay, which then more formally came out as SINE with efforts of many of these professors, and of course Professor I mean Poiny Bhatt is here, Professor Atre and many others who steered it through very different troubled waters. Today, entrepreneurship innovations are the hope for. So in today's time, climate change is major challenge. Climate change solutions may not come through the existing industrial setup because many of them are non-profitable. So the solutions, for example, if oil industry wants to make production of fuel CO2 neutral, it's very difficult, very costly. So will they really innovate and go into the business which are climate friendly? We don't know. But two things can help. One is government policy, that it will make industry to go into the path which is needed, and that's what government is doing. And we also are trying to model possible energy transition paths, and many academicians along with world over are trying to do that. But the other hope is entrepreneurs who will actually dream that the world will be different, and will and work on new ideas and make them true. So this is another hope for mitigating climate change. And in fact, people have acknowledged this, and globally efforts are on to have a global engineers and global entrepreneurs. So this is the next domain, I'll say. But yeah, so I think now the SINE has to, it has already graduated. So SINE has to go into some new ways. So I've been harassing PIC and CEO and asking them, you get 1,000 applications, and why do you select only 20 or 30 or 50? Why can't you select 200? And yes, he said that yes, 80% success rate is he mentioned that it may be bad. Yeah, that's repeatable, but yes, can we take more risk? But I think it's not that science should become big and it should become 10 times. I think science should now go as a hub, and because innovations in one place can be limited, but tapping innovations at different places, so it can become a hub and spokes at many places. So can we imagine a structure related to that, how this can grow and involve many other, and of course SINE does virtual incubation, and SINE does entertain applications from outside IIT. Can it be done in a more systematic way? So it's not going big. It's not just doing more and more of what they are doing, but it's doing it different. What is that different? I don't know, but that's a dream, right? And so doing things differently, involving many people, many entrepreneurs, and of course, trying to teach entrepreneurship are some inroads into this things doing different. So that's a path. Maybe SINE can think about it and take it. As IIT, we are working on translational research in the sense that yes, IIT does very good research, and as Dr. Saraswat once said in one of the conference on the campus, that IIT Bombay is good in science of technology. So we do basics and we do research and we test ideas very good and prove them in lab. We are good at that. But can we translate them into practical products? So he says that IIT has to learn technology, engineering of technology. How do we engineer this idea into products which are successful, which also includes financial issues, practicability, manufacturability, market, administration, and many other things. So can we go into that line? So we are thinking of providing a support for our researchers to do engineering of technology, which may involve being able to liaison with industry in a better way. So there can be a mechanism for liaisoning. There can be a support staff for engineering. support staff for admin, HR, which will be available when they want as a service. Maybe we can also teach students to do engineering, more of engineering. Our students don't know engineering, that's reality. But we can have students. So this technology innovation hub, which is sponsored by DST, which is on IIT Bombay campus, has very interesting model. Students are involved in doing the ideas, practical versions of their technology. So can we translate the technology? And it's not only taking our ideas to industry, but it's also understanding the problems of industry and working on those problems and developing the product. So this translational research, this approach will be helpful for, of course, taking research to industry, taking industrial problems and work on them and solve them. And this can also be useful for entrepreneurs because the ideas and the support of engineering, support of all these things, which at present SINE is giving up to certain extent, can be more institutionalized, can be made available to also others. And we also have research park on campus, which will house about at present 60 industries and maybe more soon, who can also be available for any discussions and interaction. So I see the ecosystem on campus moving from science of technology and taking it ahead to engineering of technology, products, entrepreneurship, industrial problems, and addressing the current challenges related to industry, related to government policy making, related to people, because in this climate change, there are many problems which a common person will face, and we need to provide solutions for them, and also other academia. So this is a outreach IIT Bombay needs to do along with doing the basic research that's there, because otherwise we can't. That's our core competence. We can't leave that. So I think I'm an entrepreneur and I am a dreamer, and I think ready to work effortlessly along with all of you. And I'm sure your support, your experience is available to institute in this regard. Thank you. All the best to SINE. Do things different.
All right. Thank you so very much for giving us an insight talking about the 20-year journey of SINE and, of course, all of the wonderful initiatives that IIT Bombay has taken in fostering innovation and entrepreneurship. Now, no story of SINE is complete without acknowledging the pivotal support of the Department of Science and Technology, or DST, a government of India. We have Professor Abhay Karandikar, who is Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, who has sent his wishes on this momentous occasion. So I would request you all to take a look at the screens. We have a special video message.
Namaskar. Let me begin by congratulating Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship at IIT Bombay for completing the remarkable journey of 20 years. I recall from its humble beginning as an incubator in then Kanwal Rekhi School of Information and Technology 20 years back, when it was just focusing on information technology. From that time today to becoming one of the best technology business incubator of the country, SINE has played very critical role in nurturing a deep tech startup ecosystem in our country. I'm delighted to say that the Department of Science and Technology has been associated with SINE since its inceptions. SINE has been our implementing partner for DST's Nidhi Seed Support Scheme, and it has also acted as the program management unit for the Nidhi Prayas scheme. On this momentous occasion, I would like to congratulate the past and present leadership team of SINE, the society members, the board members, the past and present directors of IIT Bombay for fully supporting the incubation activities of the SINE and then thereby the IIT Bombay. SINE has also been instrumental in nurturing some key startups like Idea Forge, which has gone on to become the key drone manufacturing company in the country. I wish SINE uh, my best wishes for a very great journey ahead, given the fact today that we have a very enabling ecosystem for startups, and the government of India has committed to nurturing a deep tech ecosystem in the country. SINE will play a critical role in the coming years for developing the startups in the area of cutting edge technology. Thank you very much. My congratulations and best wishes again. Namaskar and Jai Hind.
What a wonderful message talking about the role of the government as well, driving the startup ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now honored to welcome Shri Ashank Desai, who is the founding member and chairman of Mastech, to deliver, apologies for that. We now have, a special mention, and this has the head of technology and innovation, Praveen Roy, who is the head of TTI DST, to share a few thoughts about SINE and talk about its association with DST. As the head of Technology, Translation and Innovation District of DST, he manages and promotes various government initiatives targeting startups, innovation, and incubation in the technology sector. Over to you, Mr. Praveen Roy.
Thank you. As already Mr. Desai's name has come, so I'll not come in between and take much of time. So I'm from Department of Science and Technology, Praveen Roy, and there is a contrast difference between the screen and the dais. So please accommodate that and figure out like how it has happened. So yeah, so respected dignitaries on the dais, Professor Suresh, Professor Santosh, Mr. Desai, uh, dignitaries of the dais, incubator managers, team at SINE, Saji, Mr. Mittal, Poini, and professors and students and startups. Thank you for inviting DST and especially to me, myself, and I feel honored and proud to be part of this journey of SINE of 20 years. Fortunately, the leadership at DST, Professor Karandikar, he also comes from SINE only. I mean, he was on the board of SINE when he was in IIT Bombay, and he also incubated his startup in IIT Bombay. So, what a best combination! Like the leadership at DST is same, who has nurtured the incubator at the SINE, and the journey of SINE, like we have evolved together. Like DST initiated the incubator program in year 2000, and SINE was one of the first academic incubators supported by DST. Our program is Academic Incubator, and that was also a pioneer initiative of Department of Science and Technology. And in fact, the government of India, till that time, no department was supporting incubators, and especially in academic domain. And Department of Science and Technology, because of the leadership which we are having there, and the visionary leadership, thought like academic incubators will be playing crucial role in developing the ecosystem, startup ecosystem in the country. And because of that, we are now seeing the stage at where India has reached as third largest ecosystem in the world, and incubators like SINE have played a crucial role in shaping this structure, building the ecosystem. Whatever is required by the startups, by the innovators, by the entrepreneurs, have been done by the incubator, the SINE over here, and they have also shown the way how these can be supported. Like they have not done it on their own, They have also guided Department of Science and Technology and other departments also what kind of support system is required to nurture this kind of ecosystem in the country. Uh, uh, we have evolved together like when SINE was established in 2004. In year 2007, I remember when Mr. Mittal was head and we could go for the policy intervention where uh, incubators were relaxed for service tax at that time. And this also migrated to GST. So because of this, the data which was presented by the incubators, the encouraging inputs, government could take initiative like service tax can be exempted, the GST can be exempted by the incubators and the incubators in the incubators. In year 2014, when this notification was issued by the government, where the CSR from the companies can be put for incubation activity related activities, was also because of the remarkable outcomes and the impact which was being created by the incubators like SINE. So this, when we evolved different programs like the Seed Fund in 2009, again the inputs from the incubators like SINE was very important because this was very much required by the incubators, and the early stage seed funding was very much required by the incubators, and because of that, this program was conceived in 2009, and that also was a pioneer initiative of the Department of Science and Technology. In year 2016, when Honorable Prime Minister launched this Startup India initiative, that time the program Nidhi was conceived by the Department of Science and Technology, and incubators like SINE guided us in conceiving what was the gaps in the funding system, in the support system, which was there from the government. So from the idea where the lack of POC support, the prototyping support was there, that was conceived in this the under the Nidhi, and then centers like Center of Excellence was also guided by the centers, incubation centers like SINE, and we could conceive a program out of it. And these all programs were, the first center where we looked for implementing these programs was, in fact, SINE, because they did all the guidance to us, and then implementation also was done in the best professional way by this center. And I'll just recall uh, the contribution by the leadership in the department. I'll just acknowledge the names. The head at that time was Mr. Menon when this program was conceived. Mr. Mittal has been leading, and entire journey of SINE was supported by him. Mr. Neeraj, Dr. Neeraj was there who was supporting this initiative, and Dr. Anita was before me was supporting this initiative. So SINE has been the intellectual power for the department, also the muscle power. Like whenever these programs are conceived, they are the first implementing partner for us, and they have given all the programs a shape which could be the best possible implementation of the program. It will not worth if we don't acknowledge the contribution given by Ms. Poini. I mean, she was the former CEO, and I've been interacting with her for quite some time. Whenever there was some problem, some guidance was required, we always approached her, and they gave us the best inputs like how things can be done. And I recall like when COVID was there, we were given a target to conceive a program where we can support startups who can contribute for the cause of COVID. And in that case, we had a budget of around 50 crore, and lockdown was imposed on 25th of March. And in 3-4 days before the financial year closure, we were to conceive this program. And then again, we approached Poini and SINE to guide us like how this can be done, what kind of program is required, and how we can support the startups who can give their best and give their products for the COVID-related issues faced by the country. And in the span of less than 2 or 3 days, the program was there. Department was very fast to release the funds before 31st of March. And the SOPs, the structure, they could make a network of incubators of around 9 incubators. Hub and spoke model was decided. And within 15th of till 15th of March, April, the program was conceived, implemented, funds were dispersed to the satellite centers, and this could conclude within a time of a span of 5 to 6 months. So this is how these incubators, which were very initiated in a less than 10 years back at that time, could contribute to the cause for the nation. And I think many programs, everyone wanted to contribute for the cause of during the COVID period. This Kavach program was a program which could conclude well within that time, and at the end we could support almost 41 startups in different domains. So this is something we could get that kind of support because of the leadership at that time in IIT Bombay, in SINE, the professor in charge, Mr. Atre, Professor Atre, and the director IIT Bombay at that time, and Poini. So this is something remarkable. And when Nidhi was conceived, I'll just like to acknowledge the support which has been extended by Mr. Mittal. He was the head that time. And I remember, like, he said, like, Startup India initiative has been launched. DST has been pioneer in doing this activity for quite some time. So we have to conceive something which is not there in the system, how we can support, how proactively we can go for it, because government systems will not be allowing more, many number of things which can be done. But then it took us, Poini and all other incubation managers, almost 15 of them. We went to a isolated place where network was not there, and there was no scope of running away from the place. And he locked us there in the room, and then we brainstormed for almost 1.5 days. And what was the outcome? Like, in 1.5 days, the program Nidhi was conceived, where we could put in place the prototyping grant under Prayas. Then the EIR program, which was also missing at that time, Entrepreneurial Residence program, government was not supporting. Accelerator program was not, till that time, it was said like government should not go in this domain like accelerator, but that was also supported. And Center of Excellence, like, what can be done for the incubators who are performing well? What will be the next level of operation? So that time, the incubation was almost 25 incubators at a time by the incubators. We put a target of more than 100 and 150 incubators at a time in the incubators. And that was a Center of Excellence. And SINE was one of the first Center of Excellence supported by Department of Science and Technology. Again, when Prayas was conceived, we needed an implementation partner, and going outside the network was not justified. And we knew, like, we have very well established professional entities. These incubators have grown to that level. The state of art implementation partners were there. And in the brainstorming only, it was decided like SINE will be playing the program implementation partner of the Prayas program. And in this journey of almost 5 years, the impact has been so great. Like, they have supported almost 54 Prayas centers across the country, and the data has been very exciting. Recently, we went for a third-party impact analysis of the program, and that is also, the results are very exciting, which will be helping us to go for the phase 2 of the Prayas program. So this is what we are getting from the centers like SINE, and they have evolved at a level, state-of-art centers, professional centers, which can support government in taking that initiative further. What can be the way ahead? So as Professor Karandikar mentioned, like, we are looking forward for a deep tech domain, and SINE has already been doing a lot in this domain. All the startups, Idea Force, and other startups are already in this domain. The first incubator, academic incubator, having startups in IPO, going for IPO, going for becoming unicorns. So these centers certainly can play a well-defined role in deep tech domain. And only the thing is that they have been doing it, but we want to make it more structured. We want to replicate it, as how the similar brands like SINE can be created in other incubation centers across the country. That we have to figure out. So we want to conceive a very structured program for deep tech startup center of excellence, and we hope, like, inputs and guidance from centers like SINE very helpful. Second roadmap, like, maybe, like, because they have become a brand and they have performed very well. So certainly they can guide other fellow incubators near in the state of Maharashtra or in nearby in the country, like how they can grow to this level, how they can build this ecosystem in the academic setup, so that whatever is whoever is approaching can be supported, whether physically or virtually, in the best possible way, and how the funding can be generated for them. And third, like, keep on celebrating. Like, we hope, like, these decades will keep on coming with different level of achievements, and we will get opportunity to celebrate. And I wish the entire team, Saji, Kanan, Sethi, Mr. Sethi, and the entire team, the professor in charge, and Mr. Professor Santosh, entire team is so dedicated. The leadership is so dedicated that they are for this cause, and we are hopeful, like, these occasions for celebrating these achievements will keep on coming. We also celebrated our 8 years of Nidhi program just on 6th of September this year. And this could get good recognition in the media also. And the achievements and the achievements were just because of the support which was given by the centers like SINE. So celebration is important. 8 years can be celebrated, so why decades cannot be celebrated? So we so keep on celebrating, and all the best to the entire team, the entire faculties over the in the institute, and the leadership of the institute. So thank you and all the best.
Thank you, as Mr. Roy said. I think that celebrations are definitely due given this momentous occasion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's progress and invite to speak Shri Ashank Desai, founding member and chairman of MassTech, to deliver the keynote address. A distinguished alumnus of IIT Bombay and the longest-serving board member of SINE, Mr. Desai has played a very instrumental role in shaping the direction and the success of the organization since its inception. We're fortunate to have him with us today, and we'll get an opportunity to hear about the evolution of SINE from a pilot project in IIT Bombay to now a full-fledged leading incubator that it is today. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome for Mr. Ashank Desai to provide his valuable insights with us. Please put your hands together.
Good morning. It's a great pleasure to here celebrating 20th year. I think IIT graduates pass out at the age of 20 and get out. I think SINE also had graduates, it looks like, today, like all other IIT graduates at that age. I'm here to talk about that great relationship I had with SINE for last 20 years since its foundation and what it meant. I want to narrate a story behind the scene, really, if I may, because SINE builds entrepreneurs and we are very proud of them. Obviously, we heard all of that. 250 organizations, 1,000 entrepreneurs, 3.9 billion market cap, 10,000 jobs. We all are proud about it. But SINE itself is an entrepreneurial journey, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the story that I was lucky enough to witness last 20 years. And that story is what I want to quickly narrate in the next few minutes. I have been lucky, of course, be a founder or founding board member of almost 7 organizations. 2 of them are for-profit like MassTech and Majesco. And then 3 non-profits who are doing social service and NASCOM and SINE. So I have been lucky to see what works, what doesn't work, working on the hard roads of building an institution. And I got that opportunity in SINE too, thanks to IIT Bombay. And this institution building entrepreneurial journey is what I want to quickly narrate next few minutes. So any organization, when it is built, obviously people see the visible part of what has happened, and we are going to discuss it, see it today, tomorrow. But there is something which happens behind. Behind the tangible actions that you see, there is an intangible, if I may call it tangible action, that is required. And that sometimes is actually difference between success and failure as much as tangible. I'm not saying that they are both important. And that is the story that I was witnessing all these years, as I said. Before anything else, I must thank, of course, the foundation of SINE was laid in 1998, I think, with Crescent, Professor Pathak, Mrs. Lagu, who is fortunately no more. Those are the people who started, and then that was a seed which was planted there, and SINE took it from there. But what we did was obviously an important story as I move ahead. Any organization has to be successful has to dream first. As Dr. Kidari said, the dreams are extremely important, and we did dream for SINE. I must tell you that story. And I'm sure Deepak remembers, we used to push Ashok Mishra, build a vision. We said we need a vision statement. We need to realize what we want to be and what we not want. And I remember Ashok used to say, Ashok, why let's start work here. Basically, he has great as a founder director of this institute, and I respect him. He only brought me. So the point I'm making is, we worked quite a few, I think 5-6 meetings we used to discuss the vision. And some of the things that SINE did very well, a deep tech, focused on product focused on technology, not just a services kind of thing. Those are the decisions we took when we built that vision. Contribution to the government, society and nation should also be one of our vision, and some of these has happened, as you know. Our entrepreneurs have contributed at a national level, whether it is drone or many other things that are there. We also had a vision of making entrepreneurs out of IIT professors. We said this is not about just IIT graduates and alums becoming entrepreneurs. We need to build entrepreneurial culture among academia with so much of research happening here. So some of those pillars of vision were the driving force, which is behind the back, because the action happened out of those visions next 20 years. And today that we see entrepreneurs, so we 20 to 25% of our entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial organizations are built by the professors of IIT. I'm very proud of all of them, that in spite of very focused in their education and research, they had a time to build. And we went through all these discussions later. I'll not come to that right now. The point I'm making is vision played an extremely important part, and I'm proud that we focused on that vision, and that vision needs to change. Time passes, and institutions have to evolve. As Professor Kedari said, we need to look at a larger vision, maybe a modified vision, and all that has to happen. But the point is, vision was extremely important. The second part, which is extremely important and which is not again valued, but it plays a great role in failure of organization, is the governance architecture that you build for running an institution. And we were extremely lucky, and I'll describe that story to you of governance architecture that we built for SINE to make it happen. So we had 3 pillars really of that architecture. 1, the board. 2, of course, the management, which is common factor in any organization. But the third piece, which was extremely important here, was professor in charge as a role. I think these 3 together is what made this happen, what success that you see in SINE. And I'll describe to you quickly some of that. So, first thing we said is we need a board. And board has to be not going to be just IIT-driven board, has to be a board with external board. And that we agreed by the director and IIT, and we invited people from wide strata of society, because SINE is just not about technology. SINE is about understanding finance. SINE is about raising funds. SINE is about understanding what it means to be an entrepreneurial organization and how to build them. So we wanted entrepreneurs on the board outside who are not IIT, part of IIT. We wanted finance people on the board, and we wanted some people who brought some other skills like marketing and many other things. And I can tell you, some of that has greatly helped. I'm sure Moini and other CEOs who were there before her would vouch for that. That wisdom does not come too easily, but that helped us sign into what institution building that we did over last week here. There was another decision that, again, the director took at that time is that a vice chairman has to be from outside IIT, and I was lucky to take that role, which helped me to at least involve more closely with the management and professors in charge. The board ran, and I must give hats off to all the directors. They gave full freedom to board to run SINE as an institution, although part of IIT, but gave us that freedom, which was extremely important, Mike. I have seen organizations after organization which fail because these so-called shareholders interfere into what it should do and not allow board to run the institution. Here was the case, whether it was Ashok Mishra, whether it was Devang, whether it was Subhashish, and now, of course, Professor Kedare. I think I'm sure all of them believed in giving full power to board, valued the contribution of all of us non-IIT board members, and allowed us to run. In fact, I used to keep on fighting. This is good for IIT, not for SINE. I'm sure Poini will agree with me that I used to keep on fighting with her like that. And Poini will always come and running to me, Achank, what is this? This is not good for SINE. Let's fight with SINE, IIT, and so on. Just on a joking way. The point I'm making is we kept it at a distance from IIT. At the same time, IIT allowed us to run it that way. I think that's the extremely important part of success of SINE, I must tell you that. And thanks to all these directors who have played great roles as a chairman. They spent their own time, of course, at the same time, kept it at a distance to allow us to run the institution. And I think their role was extremely important. So that's about directors and the board. Of course, board members are all here, some of them. Deepak, from where he comes with a great experience in corporate, in inputs. Samir is here. He is to bring all finance expertise of building entrepreneurship. Ravin Gandhi is not here, and so on. I won't take all the names. But I think it was great to work with all of them, bringing a different perspective. The second part of that architecture was professor in charge. And I tell you, this institution would not have been successful without that as one of the important parts. Because here was IIT, here was SINE. And SINE had to depend on IIT, obviously, for all the resources, various other things, the support that was needed. That would not have happened without professor in charge. And I must thank all the professor in charge. Some of them are here. Some was not. Very nice to see you. It was nice to work with you for 6 years. Milind, I don't see him here. Milind Trey. Of course, now Santosh. The important part is all of them come from academia. But I have seen the transformation in them, working with them for all the years. They start talking of IIR. They start talking of bottom line with their head and things like that, which is very nice to see. So I think PIC has helped SINE, of course, to perform well because they solved all these issues that with IIT you can have. We need this, this is not working, that is not working, but they made that work. They gave the direction to the CEO and all that happened. But beyond that, I saw transformation in them also. As I used to interact with them all the time and keep on pushing them to get something from IIT. So that was the second piece of architecture. And third and last, of course, is management. And I'll spend a few minutes before I complete. I think that the real action happens, obviously, is at the CEO and team level. And we were lucky to have, we first had a CEOs who were from outside. We thought we should look at people who have worked. Mind you, it was extremely difficult to get a talent to run incubation. I'm talking of 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. Entrepreneurship was not so known. Incubators were not so in large numbers. So we had to look at people from outside, look at what they can do and get people from outside. But in that, there was a leadership happening in-house, which was a great find for us, and that was Poini, who played a great role. Let's give him a big hand. I want to give her a big hand. All that she did. I saw Poini joining, I think, around same time. She was not from entrepreneurial area, but from company secretary background, from IIT, and changed herself to become real entrepreneur to run this institution. Grew from an officer to COO to then CEO last 10, 12 years. The kind of thing that you have seen is all because of her. But the point I'm making is the CEO brought, we were lucky to get CEOs also who were high energy people and who were willing to work with board at the same time and not see there has to be a proper balance of CEO between running an institution and getting guidance from board and directors and so on. That balance was there in the CEOs that we had. Now we have Shaji, who will obviously run it again from outside. We have got him. So the point I'm making is CEOs did so many things, and I don't want to take thunder out of Poini because I'm sure there is a next session where she'll talk about it. But we created architecture of building key result areas every year through board. We build an association with government and mentors and all those things, which I think I will not spend time here because that's the really CEO's realm. But having seen that, what it means to build external relationship with government, I really feel it was a important pillar. I remember we working with Intel with accelerator kind of architecture, which took it quite far. Then, of course, Ms. Roy talked about Nidhi and Prayas. We have played that role. That would not have happened without energy at the CEO and the team of SINE. So my great thanks to the team too for making it happen. Some of them run it as if it is their own organization. I know many of them. I won't take all the names. But the point I'm saying is, it was this culture of performance that was important part behind that thing. That culture happened at various levels, from director to board to PICs to the CEOs. So I think all of them played that role in the culture. Without that, we would not have been here. Equally, I want to say. So vision, values, and culture, board, PIC, and CEO and team are all the real secret sauce behind what SINE is today. I'm looking forward, obviously, to the next 10 years, 20 years. You see SINE playing a great role in India's journey to become number one, maybe someday as entrepreneurial country, number one in technology, deep tech areas, making IIT Bombay proud as one of its own institution, which is making difference at a national and international level. All that journey has started. We have achieved, but we have a long way to go as usual again. So I am really overwhelmed today standing here. By the way, I was supposed to be out of country today to attend some other organizations, which I am one of the founder members, the ESCOM, but I think Shaji and Santosh convinced me to be here, and it was not at all my choice too. The point I'm making is I'm really overwhelmed here that it was great time that I spent in my life to associate with SINE. My association with IIT, of course, will continue. It has increased it back many other ways. But I would see it from sidelines, SINE becoming a great institution that journey has started. Thanks to all of those who participated in it. Thank you very much.
And thank you so very much, Mr. Desai, for not taking that plane and for being here with us today and sharing all your valuable insights and, of course, being such a cornerstone of IIT Bombay and SINE's success. I think your contributions have clearly left an indelible mark on the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have a very special message. Mr. Kanwal Rekhi, who is a distinguished alumnus of IIT Bombay, Silicon Valley legend, and founder of successful tech company Exceed, and a key mentor to countless startups. Along with Mr. Nandan Nilikani, he was very instrumental in sowing the idea of having a technology business incubator in an academic institution. So please join us in listening to Mr. Kanwal Rekhi's special video message.
Hello, everybody. I am Kanwal Rekhi speaking to you from Silicon Valley. I wish I could have been there in person to celebrate this 20th anniversary with you. SINE at IIT Bombay was the first incubator in the IIT system, and it has inspired many followers at other institutions. It has achieved tremendous results, as seen by the number of successful ventures and entrepreneurs produced. India needs to produce 10 million plus technology entrepreneurs if it wants to achieve its goal of becoming a developed country by year 2047. It especially needs technology-driven solutions and ventures for its laddered rural economy. I'm proud to have been involved with SINE in some fashion from the get-go. I want to commend everybody involved with running of SINE. Finally, the best is yet to come, and good luck and goodbye. Thank you.
Wonderful. The best is yet to come. I think that was very well said by Mr. Rekhi. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Sharji Varghese, CEO, SINE IIT Bombay, to please felicitate and present all of our esteemed guests with a small token of our appreciation on behalf of IIT Bombay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where you play a role. Please put your hands together and welcome on stage Mr. Varghese. And please, a small token to each of our panelists that we would like to present a small token of appreciation on our behalf. Mr. Ashank Desai, Professor Shirji Kedare, Mr. Praveen Roy, and Professor Santosh Ghagpure. Thank you all for being with us today and making this occasion even more special and even more momentous. Mr. Ashank Desai, ladies and gentlemen, a big, warm round of applause. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And ladies and gentlemen, we now have a very special moment in our event. Of course, a wonderful photographic memory that we want to, remember this wonderful milestone. So a big round of applause. Thank you all. Please remain seated. And ladies and gentlemen, yes, now is the very special moment. The release of the coffee table book and the launch of the new SINE website and the SINE information management system. So yet again, Mr. Sharji Varghese will do the honors with a small introduction to the coffee table book, the new website, and SIMS. Over to you.
Thank you. Very good morning to all of you. 20th year celebration gives us an opportunity to thank all the people who have been instrumental in setting SINE from an idea, converting SINE from an idea to an institution. And Mr. Ashank Desai talked about the intangibles behind driving this initiative. So it's also an appropriate from our side to kind of put it on record, these aspects, the experiences people had when they kind of set up this institution, the stories behind it, the anecdotes, and contribution made by each of them in building up this institution. So we have kind of brought out a fitable book which tries and captures this. It's also a celebration of our way of celebrating entrepreneurship, kind of getting it beyond just SINE or IITB or limited to the incubator ecosystem. And to release this, I also would like to kind of invite Poini, but to come on stage for releasing the Coffee book. Along with the Coffee Table book, we are also kind of launching our new website, make it a little more interactive, more informative, more user-friendly. And our website also integrates with our ERP system, which we have developed over the last 1 year, which we name it as SIMS, basically Sign Management Information System. It is fully integrated with the background, so it helps us to kind of not only kind of track, monitor, and kind of capture impact that we have been able to generate through an incubation activity and other program management activity. So it will help us to kind of provide information in a Ziffy. So we'll be kind of also launching that. While I kind of talk about these 3 initiatives, it's also my duty to kind of thank people who have been working tirelessly behind these 3 initiatives. From our team, Vandana Vyas is there. I would like to kind of thank him for that. Prasad, Prasad and his team have been very, very kind of, over the last 1.5 years, have been driving the initiative of putting up the SIMS. And Aparna Anand, who has been kind of working behind the scene on kind of upgrading our website, if I could say that. With this, if my Winnie ma'am to say a few words before we can on the
You think it is kind of a surprise quiz because I was not supposed to talk. Yeah, I think in fact, Shang mentioned about those, unknown stories and what it went behind making of SINE. And 20 years is a very significant milestone for any incubator that, we are celebrating. It's not really a very old activity in the country. We were the first and we made it very successfully. Where we wanted to do was that how do we capture the history perhaps down the line 10 years could be a relevant piece of information for future entrepreneurs, future leadership of institutions, government, as well as leadership of SINE itself. And that's where we started this, that let's document. Now, what is SINE? So SINE has 5 pieces. Like one piece is SINE, the making of SINE, which Ashank also mentioned about it. Second is our own activity programs, our impact. That is second thing. Third thing is the people who made it. People inside, people outside, people at governing board, mentors, and all those stuff. Fourth thing is basically our partners, our partners and our startups. Fifth, they are basically our biggest brand ambassadors who have actually given us so much visibility. And this is what pretty much we wanted to document. So here is to the book.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the moment, the unveiling of the Coffee Table book. We have each of our esteemed guests on stage who will be unveiling that and sharing with you the first glimpse of the coffee table book. And I hope you're looking at the screen as well to get a closer idea. Incubating Dreams, the 2 decades of SINE's journey. What a momentous day. Ladies and gentlemen, wonderful. Really taking us back in time over the momentous 20-year journey, and it's been nothing short of extraordinary. The SINE story only continues to unfold, and I think today we are marking the culmination at the start of that. There you have it. Thank you so very much for that. I now request Professor Santosh and Shaji Varghese to launch the new website and SIMS, and for the rest of our esteemed panelists and guests, please do get seated in the front row.
No. So the backend is directly connected to SIMS so that it becomes a seamless kind of a. So that's our new website.
You have noticed a lot of things change, but SINE's colors don't change.
We have a admin panel which can kind of draw out data, whatever kind of data if you require, both from a portfolio company point of view, our startup point of view, program, partners. Thank you.
Thank you, and I hope that all of you, and I'm sure all of you, will be visiting the website and checking it out very soon. I would like to request all of our guests, we have a special video, so if you could please take your seats and make sure that it's right up front so you get front row seats, because we have a special video now that we will be playing out. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our esteemed guests who have been with us today, Mr. Shank Desai, Professor Sirish Kedare, Mr. Praveen Roy, and Professor Santosh Gharpure. Please request you all to get seated right up front to take a look at a very special video that we will be playing out. Now, this is going to be a visual journey of SINE's incredible story. This video will be highlighting the milestones, the achievements, and of course, the remarkable people who have been such an integral part of the journey. A celebration of innovation, resilience, and the entrepreneurial spirit that has shaped SINE over the years. Let's take a moment to watch and reflect on the impact that we've made together. Take a look.
Year 2000. India was on the cusp of a remarkable transformation, poised to emerge as a global powerhouse. The seeds of entrepreneurship were beginning to sprout, and the culture of startups was taking flight. It was during this pivotal time that 2 visionary IIT Bombay alumni, Mr. Kanwal Rekhi and Mr. Nandan Nilekani, recognized the immense potential of fostering entrepreneurship within the IIT Bombay campus. In the Kanwal Rekhi School of Information Technology, they launched a pilot project aimed at empowering students and innovators with bold aspirations, creating an incubator that would shape India's future in innovation. As this project saw initial success, IIT Bombay's leadership formalized this groundbreaking initiative, giving birth to the Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship in 29,000 crores. With its comprehensive incubation program, SINE supports startups at every stage, from inception to grow. It starts with a plug-and-play infrastructure, combined with expert technical mentorship, access to financial advisors and investors, helping startups secure grants and seed funding. And when these startups are market-ready, SINE connects them to valuable networking opportunities that boost their visibility. With its holistic 360-degree approach to value-add support is why around 80% of SINE-incubated startups continue to thrive even after graduating from the incubator. Some of the most notable alumni startups include IdeaForge, a pioneer in unmanned aerial systems for defense and civil applications, which successfully launched an IPO in April 2023. Gupshup, a unicorn providing advanced AI-powered conversational messaging platforms. Sedimac, an innovation-driven company creating scalable control systems for the automotive industry. Atomberg, a consumer appliance innovator that transformed the ceiling fan market with energy-efficient BLDC motors. ImmunoAct, the developer of India's first indigenous CAR-T cell therapy, proudly dedicated to the nation by the Honorable President of India in April 2024. Our journey over the last 20 years would not have been possible without the steadfast support of IIT Bombay's leadership, Board of Governors, IITB Alumni Network, government departments, mentors, ecosystem partners, and the dedication of our incredible team. SINE extends its deepest gratitude to all who have been part of this journey. Looking at the future, SINE 2.0 is set to become a powerhouse for innovation and venture creation. A highlight of this vision is enhanced funding and mentorship support by the alumni. Some of the alumni-led initiatives are Translational Research Accelerator Program by the Batch of 1970, Project Titanium, an initiative aimed at transforming cutting-edge research into impactful solutions, bridging the gap between academic research and industry, and support to startups by 1996 batch. Along with IIT Bombay's Institute of Eminence funding program, student ideas have the resources to become viable business ventures, while the upcoming venture fund will drive market entry, scaling, and funding growth. As SINE looks ahead, we remain committed to fostering a vibrant entrepreneurial community and a culture of innovation, where transformative ideas become scalable, bankable businesses. Together, SINE will play a vital role in driving India's next decade of growth, empowering the country's brightest minds to turn their dreams into reality.
Absolutely incredible. That was just incredible. The milestones, the achievements, and of course, the people who have been a part of this journey, shaping the future of innovation. And as we said, turning dreams into reality and fostering India's entrepreneurial spirit. Absolutely wonderful.